Okay, hey 593. So this week is the Wingate Lab. Let's jump over to Blackboard and show you what we're going to do. So this is an example lab report so that you can see what I'm looking for. Part one is the purpose. It's usually more than a sentence, roughly a paragraph, but essentially what the purpose of the lab is. The physiological rationale is usually 1 to 2 pages. And it's the idea that why are we measuring what we're measuring? So in the Wingate Lab, you're testing anaerobic power. So what is anaerobic power? What does it tell us from a health or fitness perspective? Why is it important? Why might we assess it? Methods, essentially, what are we doing? How are we doing it? I would strongly encourage you to just look at the method section of any recent journal article that you've read related to your lit review you've done or your research methods class. And let's see, results, discussion, interpretation of the data. So it's sort of a combination of results and discussion. So if you have any data that are generated, you're going to make tables, identify the values, and then sort of opine on them. So if you received a score, what does that score mean for that test? Are there norm values that you can look at to interpret it? And then usually there's some research questions that I'll ask or lab questions that I'll ask, but this lab's a little bit different. So the lab questions and procedures, essentially there's a Wingate research article that I want you to read and look over. And then there's a video, it's 2 minutes and 45 seconds of an actual Wingate test and what it looks like. So what we're going to do is, since we don't have access to the lab right now, or we're not going into the lab, I want you to see if there's another anaerobic test that you could do at home. So let's just say you're working in a university or a college and they don't have this lab to do a Wingate test. You need a special bike, it's a couple $1,000s, you need a computer, you need some sensors. So I want you to come up with an alternative test, and I want you to research that test, and that's how you're going to write your lab report. So you'll do the purpose, the physiological rationale for Wingate measuring anaerobic power, but you'll also include whatever alternative test you choose. I don't want to give away the game, but there are sprint tests, different types of sprinting tests that could be done. So I want you to look up a test and look at the research and see if that test has been validated against the Wingate. So you're going to identify a replacement test that measures anaerobic capacity, something that could be done at home. You don't have to do the test on yourself, but I need you to gather some data. So whatever test you choose, you're likely going to find it in a research article. Pull that data from that article. Or if you want to do the test yourself at home, and you can, and you have some space, go for it and record your data and use it in your lab report. Make sure in the discussion section you talk about the reliability and the validity of the test that you chose. And you have 2 weeks for this, but we are going to do a new topic next week. So just keep that in mind and feel free to ask any questions in GroupMe. All right, good luck.